Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to my class introduction session. You're all here to definitely understand about myself, about my class, and also about VMware vSphere platform. You all might have heard about VMware from your colleagues or your friends or from somewhere that VMware is a great technology, VMware is a company, VMware is probably one of the leading industry cloud provider. And these are all probably the things that made you to at least take a look at this session or listen to me in this particular session. Once again, thanks for joining. Here in this short 15 minutes video, what I'm trying to explain here is about me and probably give you a quick overview of my lab and the benefits and advantages you could basically get from my exclusive course. My name is Churian. You can call me Churi. I have 18 years of IT system administration experience. I am currently working as a virtualization and cloud architect. I came to US in 2001, and since then I've been working with different companies. I work with companies like Digital, Unilever, HP, Merrill Lynch, BlackRock, and so on. Over the years, pretty much almost 18 years of my career, even today, I work a lot on the Microsoft side. I myself consider as an expert architect level person in Microsoft Windows Server platform, starting from Windows Server, general Windows Server stuff, Microsoft multi-node clusters, geo clusters, Active Directory. These were all part of my day-to-day activities. One or the other way I will be interacting with the Windows team in my organizations. I got experience with VMware long back when I was working in Merrill Lynch in 2002. That being said, it's almost around 12 years of experience in virtualization. I started my career with VMware ESX Server 2.5. That was in 2002 October. And since then, VMware and virtualization was always a passion for me. I've been working on all these different versions, from 2.5 to the latest and greatest version right now. It's VMware vSphere 6. VMware is definitely the number one virtualization platform in the industry. There is no other competitors for virtualization. If you look at most of let's take the top 500 Fortune 500 companies, you can see that 95% of them are running VMware vSphere platform. And there is a reason for it. There is absolutely a reason for why all these companies, the Fortune 500s, are choosing VMware as their primary virtualization platform. The reason is the VMware's platform is very stable, high performance, secured environment. And also, as I said, they are already into their 6th generation of virtualization technology. The competitors like Citrix and Microsoft I would say, are at least 2 to 3 generations behind the capabilities of what VMware is having today. So that being said, I have almost 12 years of VMware experience. And in the past 3.5 years, I'm working a lot and spending a lot of time researching and implementing and designing in Amazon AWS. I'm also doing an AWS class also, AWS Foundation class, where I will be teaching Amazon's cloud infrastructure, especially the virtual private cloud, EBS blocks, S3 storage. There's a lot of things. So there will be a separate session for that. But just for your information, I'm also doing AWS training. This course is a 50-hour class for VMware. In this class, you will be learning the basic concepts of system administration, starting from server hardware. I know there's a lot of people who come to my class. As I said, I've been teaching in the industry for almost 7 years. I have taught probably around 300 plus students so far. I've seen people with different experience, a lot of storage administrators, a lot of networking guys, Windows, Linux administrators, even fresh OPT, CPT candidates, and also people from different IT technologies came to my class. And I'm very glad and happy to tell you at this point that many of the students who I taught are currently working in very large organizations. In fact, some of my students are working for VMware itself. A bunch of people who I trained are currently working for AT&T, Goldman Sachs, MoneyGram, Pepsi. These are all companies where right now my students, I'm proud to say that the students that I taught are working, and these are the people who are actually supporting me for my courses. You know, every time when I announce a new batch, pretty much my classes are full. That is only because of the references coming from these students. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of this class. You know, I know you are all here to understand what this guy is training, what this class is. The major difference in my class is actually probably the biggest lab that I can provide you. This is actually a live lab. This is my current VMware lab. There is a batch that is going on. So you can see here, this is actually my VMware vCenter platform. You can see a different set of servers, and these are not servers that are made on a Windows, on a VMware workstation or something like that. No, these are real powerful HP servers. You can see that the difference here. These are all ProLine DL380 series servers, all these servers. So in this class, you get exclusive access to the servers. I have a terminal service environment. You guys will be connecting to my lab, and you can even power on and power off and build the servers from the scratch. That is the beauty of this class. Many people, you know, believe me, many people who came to my class, even though they have experience in some other field, they don't know really what a server is. You know, they might have heard about HP servers or Dell servers or IBM UC, Cisco UCS and things like that, but they never had a chance to really experience how to connect to these servers remotely, how to configure RAID, how to configure BIOS. You know, that is where you need to start from, and that is where that is the building blocks. If you don't know the basic things, I don't think going forward and learning some top level things make any sense. A lot of people come to me and ask, hey Churian, can you teach me cloud computing? The question that I normally ask them is, you cannot really learn cloud computing. Cloud computing itself is a big term. There is a lot of things in cloud, but I'm not going to get into the details of it. But again, what you need to understand is, sure, cloud computing is definitely the industry's hype now. That is the buzzword in the IT industry now. That is what is booming. That is what everybody is looking for. And I'm sure you all are here because you wanted to get onto cloud computing. But believe me, guys, listen to me. You cannot learn cloud computing just like that. There is no shortcuts actually. You know, you could possibly learn cloud computing a little bit here and creating something and doing something, but that is all like shooting in the dark. Shooting in the dark. You don't really understand what exactly happening underneath the cloud. So when I talk about cloud, I would say it is considered as a three-storied building. You know, the three stories, the first floor is actually your physical hardware. That is where you need to start. That is where your building blocks, the basic blocks are sitting there. You really need to understand about the physical hardware, different type of servers, memory, processors. You know, nowadays there are different type of processors. The processors have immense capabilities. You really need to understand about the processors and the memory. You need to understand about storage. There are different type of storage technologies, fiber channel, iSCSI, NFS, InfiniBand. These are all different storage technologies that actually boost your cloud platform, that actually supports your cloud platform. So what I'm saying is the first floor of that building, the three-storied building that we're talking about, the base is actually the physical hardware. So it is definitely very important that you need to know about servers. Let it be HP, Dell, or IBM, or Cisco, you need to have a clear understanding of servers. When it comes to servers, there are different type of servers, rack mount servers, tower servers, blade servers. So you have to have a good understanding about different server models and how they are configured. Virtualization is nothing but an abstraction of your hardware. So virtualization, here we are learning about bare metal virtualization, bare metal hypervisor. VMware's bare metal hypervisor is actually called ESX or ESXi. So basically that is a kind of an operating system that you install right on top of your servers. Let it be HP or Dell. You install this hypervisor on top of it. So that is the second floor of our building, the virtualization. So in this course, we are primarily focusing on that part, the virtualization part, how virtualization really works, how it becomes so important, what are the different settings and configurations that you need to do. You are seeing right now in front of you, this is actually my lab. You can see that there are a lot of VMs there, there are servers there. So what are these virtual machines? What are these servers? How do they configure? You can do a lot of things. You can create clusters and distributed switches, virtual switches, storage clusters. There's a lot of things that you're going to learn in this 50-hour class. So virtualization actually changed the industry, how the industry works. Believe me, in 2001, 2002, three time when I was working in Unilever and Merrill Lynch and all, a business head will come to our office and say, hey, we need 25 servers for a new PeopleSoft project or a new Hyperion project. I'm not exaggerating, guys. Even in those big financial companies, it used to take us 3 months to 4 months to deliver that server that manager was asking for. It's a long process. You got to order the server has to come, then you need to go and rack them, then configure them, install them. So it takes a lot of time. But with virtualization, today, if that same manager come to me and ask, hey, Cherian, I need 25 servers or even 200 servers, I could possibly provide them in less than 2 to 3 hours. That is the beauty of virtualization. That is why the industry has been completely changed and revolutionized with the help of this virtualization technology. Virtualization is all about some files. It is just basically a virtual machine is nothing but a set of encapsulated files. When you have these encapsulated files, you have a lot of capabilities. You could move them. It's very agile. You can move them from one place to another. You can store them. You can do a lot of things which you could never do with a physical server. You could migrate servers from New York to Atlanta or Atlanta to Germany. You can do it anywhere. So now there is technologies like vMotion and all, which actually makes this technology more powerful. So virtualization is actually the core of cloud computing, the platform of cloud computing, the base of cloud computing. So what is cloud computing? I would say cloud computing is all about automation and things like that. You now today in companies, as I said earlier, the PeopleSoft manager, he will come to the IT administrator and say, hey, I need 25 servers. Now the IT administrator will look at the VMware platform and all, and he could create 25 servers probably in a day or two. But with cloud computing, if you have a private or a public cloud, that manager that I said, the PeopleSoft manager, he don't have to come to your desk. Just with a click of a button, he could provision those VMs. He could build those VMs, just the click of a button. That is the automation part. But you got to understand, when he click on that button and when he create these many servers, what exactly happens is there is some kind of an automation that happens where he is actually creating virtual machines in a VMware platform or a Microsoft platform, Hyper-V. So if you guys are looking to learn cloud computing, I would say this is the best place to start because you have to have a very good understanding about virtualization. having a strong base in virtualization will definitely drive you for the next 10, 15 years, because I don't think this technology is going to change. This is the core piece that you need to know if you want to excel in cloud computing. So by taking this class, this is a 50-hour class. Normally my classes are from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. EST. Every class will typically have around 10 to 15 students. You can see the lab, you all have complete access to the lab. During the entire course period, probably around 3 to 4 weeks, you will have 24/7 access to this lab. You can build your VMs, you can configure your clusters, you can access the servers, you can power on and power off the real HP servers. You will be connecting through ILO. I don't know how many of you know about ILO. For example, let me show you this. This is an ILO. This is how you connect to an HP server. So what you're seeing here is actually one of my HP servers. So you can connect to that server, you can power it on, you can power it off, everything you can do from there. It's logged out. Let me log in and show you. So what I'm doing right now here, this is the exact same thing you will be doing from your home. All you do is you connect to my lab, and then you connect to my servers using ILO. ILO means integrated lights out. This is a technology that help you connect remotely to an HP server. The beauty of the ILO is even if the server is completely off, you can remotely start the server and connect to it. So I just connected to one of my server in the lab. You can see that it is actually a ProLine DL380 generation 6 server, and you can see all the details about that. Now, I just wanted to show you this server is currently running a VMware vSphere hypervisor. I just wanted to show you how it looks like. So you will be connecting to the server, you will be configuring the RAID, you will be installing it, everything will be done by you. So this is actually one of my ESXi 5.5 server. ESXi 5.5 is probably the latest version that is used in the industry, though 2 months back VMware announced vSphere 6. vSphere 6 is a next generation of 5.5. It is still not been, I don't think any big company started using it. It will come soon. There is not much big difference between 5.5 and 6. There are some additional features and capabilities are there, of course, but as I said, 99% of companies are currently using vSphere 5.5. I will be starting vSphere 6 course very soon, but I don't think I have any plans to start it at least for the next 3-4 months. So what you're seeing here is actually a VMware ESXi 5.5 hypervisor running in my lab. So as I said, attending my class will give you guys real exclusive access to these HP servers. So you're learning from the scratch and upwards. Apart from this class, so why, a lot of people say, let me tell you, the thing is, I think a teacher can make a big difference. I've been training for almost 7 years, and all my students says, I don't know, they are saying that my class is good. And the only thing what I can promise you is when I teach with a passion. I don't teach for money. I don't teach for anything else. When I teach, what I'm trying to do here is, guys, believe me, I'm trying to share my 18 years of industry experience to you guys. My 18 years of experience is what I'm trying to share here. It is not about just VMware. That is why when I teach, I always ask my students to ask me questions as much as possible. Let it be VMware question, let it be Windows Server question, let it be an Amazon Cloud question. I'll try my best to answer it. And these trainings have actually improved my knowledge a lot. I've learned a lot of things. I've seen different people from different industries. And as I said, at least around 50 to 60 of my previous students are still very much in contact with me. And I keep talking to them about technical changes. They talk about their environments, the new improvements coming in their environments. Exciting stuff. Some of the guys that I trained, probably, as I said, I've been training for almost 7 years. Some of the students that I trained are now, I'm sure they have much more experience than me. Some of them are working as VCAC cloud architects for VMware. Some of them are working as senior engineers in AT&T and Goldman Sachs. So these are all good things, and I'm glad that these people, these students are actually helping and supporting me a lot, and they are actually my backbone for my classes. The other thing is, these people, I have a Facebook group where all these people are members, and they post their blogs, they post their experiences, and these people are always there to support you also. So if you're taking my course, we will help you make your resumes. We will give you placement assistance and support. We'll give you job support. As I said, you can always reach me most of the time. But if I'm busy or if I'm at a different location or something, there are people that are always available to help you guys. So this is a lab with exclusive access. As I said, even if you go for a official VMware course, you will only see 2 servers and you have limited access to the real hardware. In this class, you have exclusive access to my lab. I also use a lot of materials, a lot of course materials to train you guys. You can see that, the primary goal, what I try to teach from this class is you need to understand the architecture of the hypervisor. You need to understand what is inside it. Being or keeping that blank will never help you. What you're seeing right now in front of you is the ESX server architecture diagram. This is a pretty old picture, but the things have not changed in the VMware. Even I told you I started working in 2002. So what you're seeing right in front of you is the ESX server architecture. ESX server is no more in VMware. They get rid of this product, but that doesn't mean that the concept and the architecture has changed. Small changes are there. Right now they are using ESXi. So when I start teaching, I explain the students the difference between the ESX and the ESXi, what makes those hypervisors different. And the most important thing is to understand each and every block in it. Understand what is device drivers, how does this VM kernel works, what is the storage stack, what are the different storage technologies this kernel supports, different networking technologies, switches, the file system, and the most importantly, the resource management. How does this VM kernel, the hypervisor, the core of VMware operating system, how does it intelligently manage the resources, especially the CPU and memory? So what you're seeing is here is actually the ESX server architecture. This is the ESXi. This is what we are learning, ESXi. ESX and ESXi, if you look closely, you can see that there is not much big difference. There is a small difference. You're missing the service console that was there in ESX, whereas you see some orange blocks here, which is actually inside the kernel. So VMware has developed this product a lot. As I said, this is the 6th generation. VMware vSphere 6, it is not that something that born yesterday or last 2 years back, like Hyper-V or anything. This is something that has been evolved over a period of 14 years. Very strong, very powerful operating system. So we will, when we get into the class, you will learn the internals of it. You will understand each and every block, and I try to explain. So as I said, guys, I teach with a lot of passion, and that is my interest. All I do is my 100%. I ask a lot of questions, um, and I definitely expect that kind of response from you guys also. This is not a shortcut. This is definitely not a shortcut for you to find a job. There are people come to me, somehow learn virtualization, and that guy is going to support me, going to get a job. No, that's not the thing. This class is all about, or this class is for people who really want to understand the internals of virtualization, especially the VMware platform from in and out. This is not a basic course. This is an advanced course where I will be digging deeper into certain technologies. For example, vMotion. A lot of people know vMotion. They know how to configure vMotion. They know how to set up vMotion. But I would say 90% of even experienced VMware administrators really don't know what exactly happens internally when vMotion happens. What are the things that happens? How does vMotion really works? You know, as I said, vMotion is the process of migrating a running virtual machine from one server to another server. And today VMware has the capability to even migrate a running server from one location to another location. Last week, VMworld is VMware's biggest conference every year that happens in San Francisco. This year it happened 2 weeks back. I've been a frequent visitor for VMworld. I've been attending the last 7 VMworlds. So this year in VMworld, the interesting thing was they tried to vMotion a server from their Palo Alto office to the Virginia cloud platform. VMware has their own cloud now, which is called as vCloud Air. If you ask me, am I working on vCloud Air? Yes, we are working on vCloud Air. I do a lot of work in vCloud Air, but it is too early for me to start teaching on that. But as I said, I'm teaching on Amazon right now, but there are some plans for me to start VMware Cloud also, but it may delay it probably with another 6 months or so. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you here is VMware is really moving fast. It is being powered by EMC on the back end. You know, EMC is the world's largest storage related products company. EMC owns around 90% of the VMware's share, and you know that company has invested billions of dollars into this, and that is why VMware is excelling in everything. So I want to wrap it up. I know you all are here. There is actually another session of me. You can see a video there that gives you a complete overview. It is an hour and a half video that will give you a complete overview of my lab, what I teach, how I do the classes, how do you connect. There's a lot of things that cover. This is just an introduction class just to show you who I am and what I am and how I teach. I hope you all enjoyed this session. Please contact us back and definitely take a look at this class. All I can say you is I can give you my 100% to teach you, to share my knowledge. As I said again, this is not just a VMware class. This is a class where I share my 50 years of experience. We'll be talking about virtualization. We'll be talking about best practices. We'll be talking about some advanced configurations. We'll be talking about disaster recovery and things like that, you know, replications and disaster recoveries and all the advantages that you could take from VMware's virtualization technology. Thanks again for joining my class. I hope you all enjoyed this session. And this is the same way I'll be teaching. This is the same way I'll be talking. You have access to this lab, so I'm not going to get into all this. I have a lot of things to talk, but you know, since I wanted to restrict this video in 15 to 20 minutes, I'm stopping here. Thanks again, everyone. Please contact us back. Have a good evening. Thanks.